Hello and welcome to the Brothers and Sisters Like These podcast. I'm your host, Brother Emiliano. Today on the show, we have us Jeff Miller from the Blue Ridge Honor Flight and Ann Atkins, Gold Star Mother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Brother Jeff, let's start with you. You are the founder of the Blue Ridge Honor Flight out here in the Asheville area. Could you please describe the background and the mission and values and the vision of Blue Ridge Honor Flight?
Sure. Brother, it started out originally as Honor Air back in 2006. The very first flight we ever did was September 23rd of 2006. And then the next day, a Sunday, the 24th, we did another flight. We've not done that again. That was a little crazy to do back to back. But our goal was to take all the World War II veterans from Henderson County, is what we started with, up to see the World War II memorial that had just recently been dedicated 59 and a half years after that war was over. And that was our mission, to take every World War II veteran there. And we provided guardians for those that, just to make sure if they needed anything, we covered it, pushing wheelchairs, just making sure they were staying hydrated, answering any questions they had. We were just their tour guides, and everyone had maybe two people that had their individual person there as a guardian to help with that. It caught a lot of attention from national news. A gentleman named Bill Geist with CBS Sunday Morning News picked up on it, did a great story Sunday morning after the Saturday flight, and it just really inspired the rest of the country to come out and do the same thing. A gentleman in Ohio had been doing one called Honor Flight, where he was flying two veterans at a time in small planes, bringing in six pilots or something, and coming in, flying into Manassas and then busing in. So the two of us ended up getting to know each other, and we formed what's now called the Honor Flight Network in February of 2007. And as time rolled on, Honor Air morphed into what is now Blue Ridge Honor Flight that Ann and I fly with. And there's 124 different hubs, which we're a hub around the country, and we're approaching 400,000 veterans flown. We didn't stop at World War II, obviously.
And Brother Jeff, where did this come from? What motivated you? What's the background to this nonprofit?
Definitely growing up in a very patriotic home. My dad was a World War II veteran. He was in the Pacific in the Navy. My mother lost her brother, her big brother, who was a B-24 pilot on June 16th, 1944, on a bombing run over Bratislava, Czechoslovakia at the time. And so I grew up in a neighborhood that was full of World War II veterans all over the place. They all took care of each other. They were always my safety net. And then when my father got sick, he got sick and died pretty quickly. My mother was in Alzheimer's by that point, and so I took care of her. And at the end of about 3 years, when she passed away, there was this trunk at the end of their bed that I'd been forbidden to touch for my whole life. And I made a beeline to that trunk and opened it up. And there were all these letters from my uncle to my mom, letters from my mom to my uncle that Department of Defense, Department of War at that time had returned to my mother. I found his Lieutenant Bars. I found his Purple Heart, the telegram that's saying he was missing, the telegram saying he was dead. Found my mother's diary of her whole time with it. They were in the war. And then I found where they were both, mom and dad were members of the charter members of the World War II Memorial, which I had been also, but I had no idea they were, and vice versa. And I remember just closing the trunk and leaning back on it and thinking how bad it was that they went through everything. They contributed to it, but neither of them ever got to see it. And I started thinking of all their friends that were still alive that I knew that were all World War II veterans. And I remembered reading a story about Earl Morris when I was in Charleston. And it was just this little story in a Charleston newspaper about how he was doing flying two veterans at a time in a little plane. I thought that was really cool, but I thought it was awful slow. And plus, I'm not a pilot. So I just said, well, I'm just going to charter a jet and just start taking them up there. And then I approached some friends of mine, and they didn't tell me I was crazy, at least not to my face. And we started putting it together, and the rest is history.
Here we are, and here we are. That's truly remarkable, a beautiful experience of how veterans were more part of our social fabric a few decades ago. And we've never quite had that post World War II feeling, even with my generation of Iraq and Afghanistan vets. Now, transition to you, Sister Ann, who is a Gold Star mother, a friend and a member and an honorary member of Brothers and Sisters Like These, a personal friend who I cherish very much. Matthew passed away when I was also in Iraq during the same year. So it's very personal to me. And I'm very happy that the original brothers turned it from brothers like these to brothers and sisters like these, and now to also Gold Star and surviving spouses. And post Helene, now we are also first responders. In the end, it's the trauma may be different, but the suffering and the pain and the anguish is the same. And we can take horse therapy, riding therapy, traveling, and we can help people's lives. So now we're partnering with a lot of people to do that, not just one form. And that's why we're doing all this outreach, because different things work for different people. We know what works for us. That's what we like, but there's other options out there, and we want to work with the other nonprofits. And so with that, that is how our paths crossed with you, Sister Ann.
Yes.
And I want to know, how did you become involved directly with Blue Ridge Honor Flight?
Well, actually, it began with an event. It was a veterans event, and my husband and I were there. And I was introduced as a Gold Star mother. And Jeff came up to me, and we began talking. And I told him about my baby, Matthew, and his death, and how difficult it had been. And we spent, quite a bit time talking. And then shortly after that, I received a call from him asking me if I would go on the Blue Ridge Honor Flight, that he would very much like to include me as part of that. And I did. And it was so helpful to me and my grief. And the veterans would come up to me and hug me and thank me. And so everything, it was my first step toward really getting in touch with the military community who had so much sympathy and understanding of what I had been through. And then Jeff and I remained friends, and we continued to talk. And then he asked me to become a board member of the Blue Ridge Honor Flight.
Yes, yes, yes. That what an honor, and how fitting, and very good call on your part, if I might say, Brother Jeff. You know, I will tell you, Sister Ann, from behind the scenes, I have talked to veterans who were on a flight with you. You've been on several flights, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it's weird for you maybe to understand, but it's very healing for us veterans,
Yes.
for me to see, for me to see one of the mothers that we lost over there is very important for us. And it goes past just my generation. Matthew was GWAT like me, infantry like me. So it's extremely personal. But for us, it's a way of reconnecting with our past. And a lot of us feel in the military that you're only really dead when you're forgotten. But
Yes.
if you're lived and cherished and celebrated, much like both of you guys are doing, you're not forgotten and you never truly die. You keep living on in our spirits, and positive things will come out of your life. And that's what's happening here. And that's what I want to promote. And when a service member dies or is separated, their service ties into so much of the quality of life of their family because everybody serves in that family. So if someone becomes a Gold Star mother, I believe that we as society, and I can't speak for the government or the military, but as a society, we owe a debt that will forever link us to Gold Star mothers, families, friends, children. And I don't really see that enough. So that's why when we do events with you, we make sure to say we have a Gold Star mother in attendance.
Bless you.
And
Because as you said, you don't want to be forgotten. I never want my baby, Matthew, to be forgotten either. He's a soldier. He was a soldier like you.
well, so how has your experience as a Gold Star mother on these flights that are now open because of the generosity of the Blue Ridge Honor Flight to other Gold Star family members? How has that made you feel personally? How has that helped you in your personal journey as a Gold Star mother?
It has given me my first family that is not it's my military family. Okay, it was my first excursion into that, and being able to talk to the soldiers and having them speak with me. And there are things that neither of us could talk about, but there are things we could as well. And I felt for the first time that I had people that understood what I had been through and that could tell me a little bit about their losses with friends and things like that. So we had some grief
Common ground.
in
Yeah,
common.
some common ground
Yeah.
that, our listeners will get a separate podcast where you and I, Sister Ann, just talk. There's a lot to talk about. But the short version of that is that there's a story, an incredible story behind your Gold Star. And that is one of service and patriotism by your son, one of giving the ultimate sacrifice, and then one of what happened after his service, the cost and the price that left on you, your daughter, and other family. And that can really be extremely difficult for people to manage, especially siblings. And so there's a story there of your arc of journey that never ends but progresses. And so we will really sit down, you and I, and have a really good discussion about that because there are highs and lows in this journey. And we have to stick through those lows to get back up to a point where life seems like it's worth living and all. So you
Thank
and
you
I will
so
have that
much,
discussion.
my dear brother.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. My pleasure. All right, Brother Jeff, back to you here. So you did share a little bit about kind of the genesis of how Blue Ridge Honor Flight got here. Give us a little bit of your origin story, where you grew up, childhood. Do you have any military? We talked a little bit about military related people and kind of your adult life, just so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Sure. I was born here in Hendersonville, North Carolina, 1954. I'm 70. Grew up in a little little neighborhood that was built by, honest to goodness, all World War II veterans except for
Mhm.
two World War I veterans. I'll never forget them, Mr. Hip and Mr. Lindbergh. And so all of my parents' friends had, I mean, 16 million people served in World War II. Pretty much everybody of fighting age fought or did something in the service for their country. Not just the ones that went away, but the wives and all the gardens they did, and you know, making sure they
Shipbuilding,
didn't
right?
waste anything. And it was just, in fact, it's the only memorial in Washington that's dedicated to a generation as opposed to just the combatants. It's dedicated to that whole generation, the greatest generation.
That's right. Yep.
And so I grew up in this military environment, huge respect for the flag. Mom having lost her big brother, who she just idolized. Um, you grew up knowing that uh, you needed to be thankful for the freedoms that you had, and so that's how I did. Pretty much everybody around me was that way. I don't recall anybody having a bad attitude about veterans and the military. Went to college, 2 years at East Carolina University on the eastern part of the state. Finished up at Appalachian, and went out and just saw, you know, bit of the country because we didn't travel a lot. We didn't. I wouldn't say we were poor, but we didn't have money to burn, so our trips were usually in a camper to Myrtle Beach or up in the mountains. And came back and went to work with my dad in our dry cleaning and laundry business, and that's all I really knew. I retired, I guess, about 2 years ago, kind of, and still
Right.
spend
Kind of,
my.
because I hear you're a busy man. I
Yeah, it's
kind is
kind of
right.
weird. I'm still washing clothes. I'll put it that way in the summer.
Exactly.
I do laundry for a big camp, and but I did not serve, and that's my biggest regret. I was going to try to go into the military out of high school, and my mother wasn't having it, and my dad wasn't having it. No one in our family had ever gone to college. Mom was scared to death I'd just go get killed like her brother did. It was the tail end of Vietnam. It was Everything was scaling down at that point. They really weren't looking for people in there. And Dad told me I could go when I graduated college if I wanted to, but he didn't want me going. And I pretty much followed whatever he said. And then when I got out of school, again, there was no real need for folks to come into the military. It was pretty quiet. And all I wanted to do was make some money and see some things. So I never served. Biggest void in my life is that.
Do you feel
But
that that's maybe part of the reason, the motivation, you seeing that camaraderie, maybe not having served yourself, but wanting to give back in some way? Do you think that's also part of your motivation?
it's 100% has always pushed me. I never served, so I had a responsibility to serve those that did. And it just got
Beautiful.
stronger and stronger. Before I ever got involved with Honor Air, I would World War II veterans love to have reunions. And for whatever reason, this little area here was a good draw. And so when groups would come in here to have their reunions, I would offer to coordinate everything for them, get wherever they wanted to go, arrange it all, and do it for no pay other than I got to sit with them the whole time and listen to their stories. And that was
That was enough.
amazing.
That was worth it.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
what I say is that I consider people like you who give so much back. Yeah, you have served. It might not be in that military capacity, but you served the military. And it takes as many people on the front line as it takes on the back line, on the back side of it. Same thing with you, Sister Ann. You know, you served because you had to support Matthew and you've had to support the consequences of him giving his life for his country. So don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. You guys have served. And for you, Brother Jeff, I'll tell you that if I had to trade my military career for for you, for what you've been doing for the military, your life has been much more important for the military than mine has, and a lot of
Don't
others.
ever say
So,
that to me.
oh, that's the
No,
truth. That's
no.
the truth. That what you're doing is much more important than a lot of us veterans will ever take credit for. And that's how we see you and how we see Blue Ridge Honor Flight.
Well, I'll
And
throw
so,
back this at you. Ask that brother of yours that was in a foxhole with you or whatever that came home
okay,
who was more so
yeah,
different
but
things. And you guys are always going to be on the pedestal for me. And Ann, I need to throw this in. All my time around veterans and listening to them, without fail, they told me that no one gives more than a Gold Star mother. I am not making light of the wives, the brothers, but they bring this person into this world. They carry them for 9 months. They bring them. They nurse them. They are a part of them that us as men, we don't have that. We love our kids and everything, but a mother, they without fail, they always told me no one gives more than a Gold Star mom, and I've never forgotten that. I'm glad I don't understand that thing. I'm glad I don't understand that hurt. But when I met Ann and really got to know her, uh, bringing her on was a natural. But also with that, warm and fuzzy. Ann's a Ann's a badass. I mean, so,
yes,
but
I
the
can
stuff,
confirm
her
that.
background in television and
That's right. Yeah,
communications, what she
she's a
brings to
tough
the
cookie.
table. This isn't some, hey, I'm feeling
I
all warm and fuzzy because I got Ann, man, she toes the line with us. And it's a big deal. So,
It is. Thank you, Brother Jeff. I'll tell you, Sister Ann, to piggyback what Brother Jeff said, on the pedestals, the Gold Star Mother is the highest above anybody else.
my
And
goodness.
the wives and the loved ones, but above anybody else. Gold Star are always the best. And that's why we are honored. You're an honorary sister. And we cannot begin to express how much love we have for you and how important you are to us.
And I can
same here.
say the same thing. I can say the same thing for the two of you and your organizations,
Well,
our
Sister Ann,
organization.
that's right. That's right. Uh, Sticking to you for a second here, we recently did a collaboration or a workshop, a writing workshop with Special Liberty Projects out of Franklin, where they had a
Yes,
Gold Star
yes.
family retreat. And to say it was a magical experience of healing and love is an understatement. I got a card in the mail from them each thanking me on a note card, which really made my day. And what was very special for me to look onto you was that I had you and Sister Midge, who's a Gold Star, sorry, a surviving spouse, help me relate to these women who I could not personally relate to. It's in the same field of trauma, but it was amazing to watch the two of you with your experience mentor these younger ladies. And I don't know if that's how you felt it or realized it, but you were really in real time giving back. And it was amazing to watch you guys do that. And you're good at that. You're good at what you do.
Well, thank you. If I'm good at it, it's because I want to try to be helpful because they were seeking comfort, help so much because their losses were pretty new and are many of them. And the fact I think that they were able to talk and we encouraged them to speak about what they wanted to, and most of them, all of them, told the circumstances of their loss. And as a Gold Star mother and as a Gold Star family member, that's that's the first step to be able to just talk about that. And I think we were able to bring that to them. And I hope that they will stay involved with brothers and sisters like these. And I hope I sent all the information out to them about the Blue Ridge Honor Flight. And so I am so hoping that they will see some of these lovely people on those flights. And I thought that the they took solace in what Midge and I had to say. But brother, you gave them a lot of advice on how to find solace too. And I think that meeting had a big impression on me because I think we were able to really help.
Yeah, and so what we've done with that is offer through our website and other workshop opportunities some working workbook sheet types of events and products that they can follow. I will follow up with Jessica and Corey, who are the owners of Special Liberty Project, and make a follow up on that to see if they wanted to link further with Blue Ridge Honor Flight. Make sure sometimes people need a little push or they get caught up. I'll follow up with her. She's an
Thank you.
extremely good. You remember Jessica?
Oh, lovely,
Extremely,
lovely,
yeah,
lovely
extremely
lady
great place
and
and a
committed.
beautiful area,
Oh,
committed, beautiful
yes,
area. Just
yes. Peaceful,
recently, yeah,
peaceful.
recently just busy doing all this great outreach.
Yes.
So, Brother Jeff, going back to you. So we both have nonprofits in this area of Western North Carolina, and how is it a way that we tell, please tell the listeners if there a way that we, brothers and sisters like these, collaborate and help with Blue Ridge Honor Flight?
The camaraderie right out of the gate is just beautiful. First time I heard it, um, I went to a reading and I was just, I don't know, mowed over by how good it was. How ordinary people that wouldn't have done that for what's David's last name? But
Okay.
anyway, Steve Henderson got him into it and kept prodding him to get up and then he read this thing he had written on little note cards and it was fabulous. And he's real country twang and
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, he just owned me afterwards. I couldn't wait to get to him and talk to him. But you cross so many uh, different individuals, the ladies that had been involved and had to deal with so much, the nurses that were flying people out and watching the trauma and seeing that, hearing all of that. My biggest thing I wanted to do was get the word out about brothers and sisters. Originally brothers, then brothers and sisters, and now all of these branches. But that was my initial thing is I just want to tell everybody about it so they get the opportunity to experience it. And then we have somebody like Steve Henderson that is part of our family
Mhm.
that is a huge part of everything we do with Blue Ridge Honor Flight. I want him on every flight, like Ann. If you go there and you don't see him, you feel naked. And it's just a great opportunity for us to, again, me not being a veteran, it gives me an opportunity to help provide a tool and the information about a really good tool. So put in your toolbox to help you deal with a lot of the things that each of you have seen and done and experienced and had to deal with that I haven't, but I know I've witnessed what it does. And so anything that Blue Ridge Honor Flight can do to shine a spotlight, we're going to shine it bright.
Absolutely. So, Sister Ann, you were on that last flight with Brother Steve and Sister Jenny?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and we also had Sister Yoga instructor and human pretzel Deidre, who also does with Black Box, because as most of our listeners know, Blue get my nonprofits mixed up. Brothers and sisters like these, we do the creative writing to help
Yes.
with trauma, but we also do it with the arts. So we'll do dancing, yoga, and so we do a bunch of activities and stuff. And Deidre is a wonderful sister who's the
Yes.
Asheville liaisons to Black Box Dance Theater out of Raleigh. And so on the last trip that you had, that I went to as an audience, it's an amazing experience to see the plane come in with the
Oh,
fire
yes.
trucks hosing it, the mist over it. You could cut the joy. It's so thick you could cut it with a knife. It's
Isn't that the
I'm high
truth?
fiving. Oh, it's amazing. I'm high fiving people I've never
Yes.
met before in my life, and just and then Jeff's, everyone comes rolling out, and brother Jeff's the last one thanking us, and it's like, no,
Yes.
no, thank
Oh,
you, no.
oh, but brother Emilio, you have no idea how thankful we are, those that were on that or have been on the flights, to have that welcome home. It is amazing. It heals the heart. People were there for us. They understood our need. It's love on both sides.
The welcome home is the most important part of
Oh,
the flights
yes.
we're doing right now, and it's the part we have the least control with. We can provide a really good landing pad for our veterans to come in and for the folks to be there, but we can't make them be there.
No.
Every one of those people have to be motivated on their own. Nobody pays them. They just come out and they park way off and they ride a shuttle and they have to wait on the shuttle to go back. You know, and with the Vietnam veterans, that welcome home is very different from the one they had when they came back from the war. So
That's
nothing's
right.
more important and nothing is more appreciated
That's
than
right. And something that's absolutely right, brother Jeff. And something that's very important for the viewers to know is that brothers and sisters came out of a writing therapy program from the VA that was only sponsored for one session.
David
And it was for,
Robinson. I just thought of the name.
that's
I'm
right.
sorry, it hit me
Oh,
in the
okay.
head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. David
David
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, absolutely. No, 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 totally.
the
The
legend.
legend. We have so many Allen. We have three Allens. Like 20 David. So just saying the first name is really. We always go by last names too. Um, so they did this program with Brother Joseph, who's a writer, English professor out at App State, and they did it exactly because these Vietnam veterans were isolated. They never were able to publicly show their grief. And after so many years, it was still eating them up. And it was only offered for one session. And then Brother Steve and the other OG members, Brother Tom and Brother Alan, decided to make the nonprofit. And they just said, you know what? There were nurses, there were donut dollies, there were Red Cross, you know, let's make this brothers and sisters. And then they recruited me for the next generation so that we can pass that torch. But the genesis was the Vietnam War and how 50 years later, that has still an incredible impact on the men and women who served. And your welcome home and our ability to write is on the same level, attacking it from different points. But it's interesting that you guys, this was before me, you guys saw that particular need and that deserved recognition. And we both saw the problem, or y'all saw the problem and found a solution. That's amazing.
Brother, I've got to tell you this one thing. Um, our the first flight that we did on that Saturday, September 23rd, 2006, we did not go to the wall or to the Korean Memorial. We didn't know we didn't know how much time we were going to have. We had to spend a good bit of time at the World War II Memorial. But the second day we did go over there. And back in 2006, a lot of Vietnam veterans wanted to go as guardians for the World War II veterans. And so we had a lot of Vietnam veterans on this flight. And I remember I remember one Vietnam veteran had two World War II veterans. that he was responsible for. And we went over to the to the wall, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and the Korean War Veterans Memorial, and unload the buses. I'm always the last guy, even on those things. I sweep them. I grab a wheelchair and I go down, an empty wheelchair, and I go down into to all of that and just watch for people. Well, I come around the corner down at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial at the wall, and I saw this Vietnam veteran that had been escorting the two World War II veterans around everywhere, and they were having a great time. And I looked and I saw the two World War II veterans were holding up the Vietnam veteran as he touched a name on the wall, and he was sobbing. They were sobbing, and they were literally holding him up. Mm. And I'll never forget that moment. I said, well, I guess we got to get all the way through the Vietnam veterans. And that was
and
the
I can
second
tell you,
day.
at the wall, I go up to them and we hug, and I'm able to, I hope, pay back my love to them that they have done for me.
Oh,
It's a wonderful
absolutely.
experience.
Yeah, and I think Brother Jeff's very on point there, kind of about how that camaraderie goes both ways, and you're there for yourself, and suddenly you see your brother or your sister struggling, and boom, you go right back into first responder mode, and you're right back there. And it's a love and camaraderie that unless you've been in the military or related to the military or part of it, you'll be blessed to never understand what motivates you to react that way. So consider it a blessing if you don't know. If you do know, we thank you for it. And to Brother Jeff's testimony, it's really shows you the fighting spirit of the American soldier is unbelievable.
That was beautiful, and I'll never forget it.
It was, and thank God that happened so it could shed light on the need.
Yeah, I think that was a God
there.
thing. I think God just popped me with that one. You're not getting out of this with just a World War II guy.
That's right. Yeah,
Yep.
no, no era deserves more attention and appreciation because of how they were treated in Vietnam, in my opinion.
100%.
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to ask Brother Jeff kind of what a day looks like, but I want to hear this from you, Sister Ann. Give me just a kind of a quick version of what does a day look like when you sign up to go with the Blue Ridge Honor Flight?
I am with the Gold Star mothers. I meet them immediately, and I speak with them prior to the flight because it is very important that they feel comfortable. Well, as comfortable as they possibly can. And I meet them. We already know each other rather well. And we are together during that whole flight, with the exception of veterans coming up to us. We eat breakfast, we fly, we go through all the memorials. The Gold Star mothers are given a wreath at the World War II memorials so that people who are there know that they are being accepted and appreciated as part of the flight and as part of the military. And then on the way home, we stand up and Jeff tells the Gold Star family stories, and we are given this necklace which we love, which we wear all the time, and our stories are told to the veterans. Although most of the veterans have come up and they already know a lot of the stories and everything, but we are appreciated. We are so appreciated, and we love the veterans, and I think they love us because we share something. We share love. We've been through loss. and they have to, oh God, they have to, some of the stories I've heard are just, and then when we come home, we are with our veterans. We are part of the same group, and we love the appreciation that we both receive. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely. Tell us what it's like getting off that plane and just
Oh,
seeing a hangar
oh my
just chock full
gosh.
of people screaming like you are some 80s rock band coming back from,
No,
and,
it is.
just
It is
going
exactly
nuts.
like that, brother.
Yeah,
It is
just going
exactly
nuts.
like that. And they come up
But
and
with bagpipes.
yes,
That's
yes,
right. Yes,
Woo!
that's
yes,
right.
yes.
Love
That's
that.
right.
And they have flags and they have like candy that they'll hand you, and they come up and they want to hug you. So you're also part of their celebration, and it is a mutual love and celebration of the military and their families, and
Yeah.
the people
And,
who
and,
love the military and their families and appreciate
and
them.
yeah, and later some of our call to action, one of them will be to get this word out that we need to show up at every one of these events and really show the camaraderie for these, because it's really not about us, it's really about the veteran on that flight, and part of that is the stepping off that flight, stepping off that plane, and walking that red carpet back into the hangar with all the music and all that. It's amazing. And in post production, you will have pictures going up and links going up so that people can understand what they're missing if they're not already aware of it. Brother Jeff, back to you. Tell us what are some things that the public can do if they want to help, donate, volunteer, be a guardian. What are some of the ways that they can give to Blue Ridge honor flights?
Talk us up a lot to if you ever see somebody wearing like a Vietnam veteran hat, go up to them, talk to them. First off, tell them welcome home, thank you for your service, and then ask them if they've ever gone on an honor flight. And if they look at you like they don't even know what you're talking about, tell them please go to blueridgehonorflight.com, blueridgehonorflight.com, and just look at our website. There's a place there to go on and apply for a veteran's seat. There's also a place there for guardian applications if you want to be a guardian. There's also opportunities to volunteer. Help us with that welcome home. We always need help. Be there at the very least and invite people to be there. It's we make it very convenient, and that's the big thing. Donations. There's a place there to donate, and I will say right now that we've been very fortunate with money in all the years leading up to this, 19 years now. But right now, after Helene, there's a real, what I call a donor fatigue, that people are very generous in this area, and they've given a lot of money uh, to try to help so many people that were just short of destroyed. Some were in that storm. So we're all kind of vying for the same donor dollars. A different thing with the military side of it, but we could really use donations. And but as much as anything, go out and find veterans. If you want to be a guardian, go find a veteran that needs someone to go with them and fill out the application for both. Because if a veteran really needs that particular guardian, we make that happen. And but most importantly, never pass up an opportunity. If you know someone's a veteran from Desert Storm, from any era, um, don't miss that opportunity to thank them. Uh, if you do that, you've shorted yourself an easy opportunity to do good, and you've denied them uh, that moment.
And we are
That's
struggling
great.
right now to get the word out to Gold Star family members
Absolutely.
to come on our flights, because there are no Gold Star family organizations in Western Carolina or in Greenville. So if you know of any families that have Gold Star family members, please tell them about this flight. Please help us, help us, help us, because it is so well. Thanks to brothers and sisters, thanks to what you're doing, this will be a help so much. But all you have to do is go to our website, BlueRidgeHonorFlight.com, and there's an application also for Gold Star family members to fill out. And please do that. We need you. And I think going, you would be really glad that you went. I think you need us too in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah,
At the
absolutely.
very
Well,
least, contact Ann. You know,
Yes, yes.
that's
or
right.
I am.
meet
Believe me,
Ann.
you have my. I give my phone number. I give my email address. I don't care. Call me,
Meet
Well,
Ann.
email me, call me, and you have that.
and
You have both of them.
yeah, on speed dial. And part of what I saw brothers and sisters become was that originally these men, all men, right, did this for themselves to grow. And once the light bulb went off that, man, I can actually write about stuff that I've never been able to talk about. And now I can talk about it because I wrote about it and I've gone over it. And that kind of forward thinking says, you know what? This works. Let's do it for other veterans. And Gold Star needs to be the same way.
Yes,
We have an infrastructure now, passing the legacy to the GWAT of my era, so that when a future conflict, if it happens, we have people back here who already have the infrastructure to help support them. Now, tell me Gold Star doesn't need to have the same thing, right? We
absolutely.
need a
And it's
link
and
in
it's so
Western North Carolina.
it is so difficult to know where to find them. So just getting the word out is so important.
I have made contacts with the central office, out of Washington, and there are some somewhat close by
Uh,
chapters in a couple in North Carolina.
Yeah, there
But
are, but they're not in Western North Carolina,
right,
and
yeah,
we take those from that area certainly first,
yeah.
and Greenville. Like I say, I just found out that they. So I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna see if I can't. I don't know, get on TV or radio or something,
I
to
totally understand. It's
try to
just
get
a
the
pledge.
message
Yeah, it's a pledge that I make to you, Sister Ann, that what I see is the way I need this support for myself, and I will carry it forward. The way Brother Jeff has seen the price that the military has cost the older generation before him, and he's given back. I want to work on Gold Star for Western North Carolina so that future mothers and future family members get the deserved support that they earn.
We need it. We need it.
And we will work on that because that to me is as important. And as Brother Jeff has said before, on the hierarchy, it's the most important thing is to support those whose families gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Thank you.
And we here in Asheville have such a good VA. We have so many people come to us outside of Western North Carolina that we're in the right place to deliver that kind of service because we have the other support systems here. So this should be one of the most important hubs in this whole region, and we don't even have a chapter. And that's my pledge to you. That's going to change.
Bless your heart. Thank you.
Bless you. All right, Brother Jeff. What's on the radar for Blue Ridge in terms of next flight? Do we have a date?
Yeah, we do. Ironically, it's the anniversary of Helene. It's kind of like in her face.
Uh,
It's September 27th. We intend to fly again, and there's something kind of exciting for us. I mean, we've been having to fly into Baltimore and doing that trek back and forth. We've been blessed to have a Maryland State Trooper that's helped us, but he's so good. He got promoted, and we lost him. At least we lost knowing that we had him for our things. So we have made other arrangements, and now we get to fly back into Reagan National, and that will literally
Oh,
give us 2 more hours on the
yes.
ground, productive
Wow.
hours of doing.
Wow.
So we're real excited about that. We don't have quite as big an aircraft this flight. We have 171 seats. We're used to having about 183. But after this one, I think we'll end up having 190. We came in late to try to do this, and so we had to take the aircraft that was available at that point. But even at that, we can adjust our numbers of support staff and still take the same number of veterans we've been taking on the flights in the past with the larger aircraft. But we're just so excited about not having that uncertainty of that long drive back to Baltimore. They've been wonderful. It's, there's some good about it. We eat while we're driving and stuff, but we can still eat and still be looking at more than just traffic backed up. So we're
I've
real
heard
excited
good
about
stories there.
that. The national the national efforts across the country are just
Yes.
phenomenal. And next year will be our 20th anniversary, and that's a big deal. And I'm thrilled to say that younger folks like yourself are stepping
Yes.
up.
Yes.
And I just relinquished the chairman's role, the president's role, to a gentleman that's been with us, Neil Denman, retired law enforcement, and he is going to take over that. I'm going to stay on and try to help with fundraising and just kind of mentor him more. But it's beautiful to see the folks that are younger, that are equally excited and committed. Some veterans, some not, to to doing what we've been doing for years and probably doing it better.
I'll say, Brother Jeff, and Sister Ann, help me out on this. I have run into several veterans that since Vietnam, their only contact was on a Blue Ridge Honor Flight. In between, that gap was that big. And the impact that it had on them was tears talking to me about it, tears of joy, uh, kids writing letters to them that were read on the plane.
That's a big deal. Mail call.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
just
big
just
deal.
crying. I'm like, brother, you okay? No, this is just it's the love. I can't believe it from another generation, my grandkids' age. Just and the appreciation that you guys planned it in that detail in that way, from the last being such a negative interaction coming out of an airport to this time, it's magic. It's magic, and we are so thankful because I have seen firsthand what it's done to them, what the gift that you've given them. It's unbelievable. Sister Ann, help express to the viewers on that plane ride how those emotions are unfolding in front of your eyes.
It's phenomenal. I love to see what is going on with these veterans. That it is pretty obvious that some of them, when we first go on, but as the flight continues, they open more. They express more. If they feel free to weep if they want. I mean, what does that say? And they come up to us, and we both love each other, and it's I think it's such a healing experience for everybody that's on that flight, that we are blessed to be on that flight.
Well, I'll say what I enjoy most, brother Jeff, is the legacy aspect. I see the grandkids of these veterans, the kids that are adults, and they're cheering and they're so proud and they're looking at the legacy. And what you're doing is you're giving the gift that those veterans gave you. as a young person, you're giving that to the next generation, which keeps us alive. We don't die when we're shared with our friends, and we're in the news, and we're important as a population. That means we get services. It's all connected, and it's so important. So seeing those younger generations with their, handmade banners and so proud, that's Papa, it's unbelievable. Words cannot do Blue Ridge Honor Flight justice. Certainly, I don't have any words that can, other than saying from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
All right, my friends, our time is come to an end. As I always offer my guests to y'all the last word.
And
Please help other Gold Star family members, please. We need it. We need it. And we want to be part of a community with the veterans. We want to join that community. And what my dear brother friend said earlier, we don't want our loved ones to ever, ever be forgotten. So help us find some more people and tell them to come on this flight because they will be helped.
Thank you. Brother Jeff.
I could touch on a lot of things, but what we do is provide an opportunity for people to do the right thing and to honor sacrifice, service, say thank you for the wonderful opportunities we have as Americans. And just never forget that. And never forget those that gave their lives. Don't forget the ones that did come home. And every opportunity you have to lift someone up, please do so. And let's just keep doing good.
Awesome. Friends, take care. Till the next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.